hospital. We use monofocus IOL, and also we can use multifocus IOL. And also some case have astigmatism, we can use toric IOL. But nowadays there's a very modern technique is optical accommodating IOL is often used in outside in other country, and also in Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh City, is some doctor already used in accommodating IOL. In my experience, I have also done some patient and very good result, but in the future you can have to expect for the long-term result for accommodating IOL. And nowadays the Dr. Ngọc Anh is talking about this field is very interesting for all our doctor. If you always use IOL for those physical technique at your theater, please for your talking.
Good afternoon, Professor Khun Hong Seo and my colleague. Today, I would like to present a topic of accommodating intraocular lens. As you know, the accommodation is a process by which the young eye can focus on object at various distances by increasing the curvature and thickness of the lens. And the accommodative amplitudes decline with age. In a 10 years old child, it is about 14 diopter, and at age 40, it is about 6 diopter, and as age 60 is only about 1 diopter. And recent in vitro and vivo study so that the human ciliary muscle maintains its contracting ability into old age. There is many theory about the accommodation, but according to Helmholtz theory, when viewing a far object, the circular muscle fiber relax around, allowing the lens zoom in, and after that, the suspensory ligaments pupil to pull on the lens and flattening it. And when viewing a near object, the accommodation occur. The ciliary muscle contract, and so that causing the lens zooming to selecting, which allow the lens to back into become thicker and more convex form. And presbyopia is a loss of accommodation after age 40, and cataract is a processive thickening and clouding of the lens. So the arm of presbyopia and cataract surgery is provide patient good vision at all distances, near, intermediate, and far vision. And there is many choice for patient. The patient can be implanted with monofocal IOLs. The monofocal IOLs provide clear vision at one focal point, but the patient need wear glasses to near or for near or the intermediate vision. And with the multifocal IOLs, the patient can see clearly object at all distances, but many patients may complain with dysphotosia such as glare, halo, stubbles. And the toric IOLs can be implanted with the patient with corneal astigmatism. And the last one is accommodative IOLs, would be the one capable of undergoing processes change its power in relation with the active contraction of ciliary muscle. There are three basic theory approaches for AIOLs. The first one is trending in axial position of AIOLs in relation with the cornea. So the result is trending the global eye power. And the second one is trending in the IOL's optic shape or curvature. And the last one is trending in refractive index or power. The accommodating IOLs classify three categories. The varies the single optic IOL and dual optic IOL, and the last one is deformable AIOLs. Move to single optic AIOLs. The working principles relies on the mechanism of the natural accommodation. It's change the actual the position of the IOL optic, so it can increase near vision. It transmits ciliary muscle contraction into a chain of anterior displacement of the lens optic, resulting in increased dioptrical power of the eye to improve near vision. And in theory, 1 millimeter of anterior movement can increase 1.5 to 1.9 diopter power. There is some example of single accommodating IOLs. The first one is tetraflex IOL. This is a one-piece, highly flexible, high-symmetric metacrylic lens with 5.70 millimeter convex optic, and it's designed square edge. It has the square edge design to inhibit posterior capsular opacification. And as a study, Donald Sander in 2006 showed that good result with DCNVA equal to 2040 and better with 75% of accommodative amplitude, more than 2 diopter at 6 months after surgery, and better near visual function compared with crystal lens IOL. The second one is one CU accommodative IOL. This is a foldable single piece hydrophilic acrylic lens with a 5.5 millimeter diameter optic. There is a square edge optic and four flexible haptics that bend when contract in the capsular bag. After ciliary muscle contraction is based on handhold theory. And the study of Marshall Bascar in 2006 has demonstrated that mean accommodative amplitude about 1.8 diameter. And the authors show that a complete loss of accommodative property within 2 years after surgery. 100% present anterior and posterior capsular opacification after 1 year, probably caused by the lens design or the lens material. And the other single AIOLs is CRYSTALENS. There is a three-piece silicon AIOLs with 4.5 millimeter diameter of convex optic. It's designed to place haptic and at the end is T-shaped. Can remain stability within the capsular bag and reduce posterior capsular opacification. And it offer near intermediate focal range by the way of anterior displacement of the IOL optic. And some study make mean accommodative amplitude about 1.79 diopter, according to the author and Stephen. And this is a study of 60 eyes of 58 patients divided into three groups using three IOLs, CRYSTALENS, high definition and take a clear and the monofocal outcome. And the author showed the near and intermediate vision were significantly better in patients with AIOLs. Despite some authors still reporting significantly improved intermediate and near vision, the majority of them report a very poor result. And in 2015, the author V.Medical report poor distances correct near visual acuity result in comparing with restore plus 3 diopter and 4 diopter. And the CRYSTALENS group showed that the better contrast sensitivity under photopic condition after spatial frequency. To improve the result in near intermediate vision of CRYSTALENS, the manufacturer designed a new CRYSTALENS SD, a central biaspheric modification to increase 1.5 depth of focus to improve near and intermediate vision result. And in study of Kim in 2011, the level of spherical variation of CRYSTALENS SD less than restore 3D 3 diopter for 4 diopter and taking multifocal. The CRYSTALENS has small optic, so there are more edge glare in patient with laser. In case the patient has lack pupil or pupillary dilation in dim light. Also single optical AIOLs has some limit of accommodative amplitude, and there is a capsular fibrosis to cause decline the ability of accommodation and distortion and distortion of the IOLs. And the low powers provide less accommodation, and the higher incidence of posterior capsular opacification. To improve improve the result, the outcome of single optic IOLs. There is a dual optical IOLs. It consists of two separate optics. The high power plus anterior optic of fixed dioelectric power and minus posterior optic. And they are coupled by a spring haptics designed to occupy capsular bag, so that it can train the distances between the anterior and posterior optic, and it's able to provide large range of accommodative effect per millimeter of displacement in endotropic and long eyes. And the first one is Synchrony dual optic IOLs. It is a dual optic silicon and single piece and foldable AIOLs. And when the accommodation occurs, the contraction of ciliary muscle, so release of the tension capsular bag, and then two optics separate, and resulting in augment of dielectric power, and theoretically 1 millimeter of displacement of the anterior optic equal to 0.5 diopter accommodation, so it offers better reflective power and accommodative ability to the patient. And OSMA, a study of OSMA in 2006, a case story of 26 eyes implanted Synchrony, so that 96% has an acuity of 24T or better at near vision, and mean accommodative amplitude is about 3.22 diopter. And some studies show performance of accommodation were related to the axial length of the eye, and the amplitude of accommodation were wider in short axial length, less than 23 millimeter with single optical AIOLs, and AIOL demonstrated that Synchrony shows significantly better visual acuity and several levels of defocus compared with CRYSTALENS, and as well or better optical quality, but the near visual outcome was still limited. And this new AIOLs is deformable AIOLs. There are many designs, such as the amorphless optic, new lens, and luminal, and such as blue field vision, but there is no commercial available, and there is some study, preliminary study, and testing on animal. And it is the working of the fluid vision lens, and the fluid vision IOL is designed to change its shape and to power through the series microscopic hydraulic and actuator that indirectly controlled by contraction and relaxation of the ciliary muscle and it's project to deliver more than 10 diopter of power train. And inclusion AIOL provide good vision at near intermediate distances, he has been developed to restore a true accommodation of the aging eye. However, it still have some limits, but it is one of the choice of presbyopia correction and cataract treatment. And that's all my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It's very interesting to every doctor here. And there's any question or comment for Dr. Ngọc Anh? Dr. Thanh? No question. Dr. Tấn?
Thank you very much for your review. First of all, review of the literature about the accommodative IOL. We also heard of that kind of IOL a long time ago. I think back in 2000 and 2002. And so at that time, I saw some patients, not here in Vietnam, but in France, when they studied there, implanted with accommodative IOL. But the problem that, as you said, with the fibrosis of the capsular back, the accommodation amplitude was reduced with time. So every study you just show in the literature is just very short, short term study, 6 or 12 months after the surgery. So, but after that, with the fibrosis of capsular back, the movement of the IOL or the changing of the shape of the IOL is reduced, and the patient will lose everything, lose the accommodation. So that's why so far accommodative IOL is not commercially available in market. As far as I know, for the presbyopia correction, we have many other choices, many other options like multifocal or EDOF, a very new, not very new, but a new concept of enhanced depth of focus IOL, like a Synchrony, or now with 1, 2, 3 isopool is available. So for that kind of IOL, I think the ability to correct for the accommodation is more stable with time at least. So because of just you reviewed in literature, and you said the newer generation of the AIOL now just tested on the animal models and not already not commercially available. For the newer generation, like fluid IOL is now available or not yet available, still tested on the lab. So I think for the concept of the movement of the IOL will reduce with time. So I think for the older generation IOL, it should be forgotten because it will not work for a long time.
Okay, any question or comment? So I noticed that in our hospital nowadays we have got accommodative IOL, but in some places, even in Vietnam, we can use it's one kind of modern IOLs, not bifocal, not multifocal IOLs, but in my experience, I have used for some patients use like accommodative IOL and progressive IOL. It's not the ring around, and the patient not depend to astigmatism as well, and also after the operation, the patient have not the flare after operation. In my experience, ICU was